There was a point in time, we were much younger, but we couldn't see past the struggle. And it was only because our minds were not expansive. We didn't know much more outside of our struggle until we got into community work and we connected with other people and we learned about different ways to mobilize and advocate, and charge forth for the culture, for the people, for our land, for our homes, for our school systems, our education, for our health,
our peers,
our young people. And when I got connected to community work, my mind expanded beyond anything. We got invited out to these places. We used to perform poetry pieces, singing pieces to our, school, our leaders, our representatives, our mayors, change makers, the Congresswoman Debbie Dingell.
Yeah.
And, we left marks on these people because of our art. And in those moments, I realized, that the world was bigger than my struggle. The world was bigger than my limitations, and that I could fight to find more. And that's where my mental health got better. I didn't feel so stuck.
Peace, everybody. Welcome to Arts Across America. My name is Sajari, and I am joined by my awesome co-host, Moo Fresh, and we are excited, super excited to introduce and have a conversation with Aint Afraid as we talk about healing in the arts. So welcome, Aint Afraid. Thank you so much for being here, and we're excited to talk with you all today.
Arts Across America continues this summer with a focus on cultural leadership and public healing. Topics include art for healing, decolonization, and art as a catalyst for change. We'll explore artistic contributions from the Black trans theater community, learn about sacrifice zones and the environment, fight for women's rights in the Latinx community, discuss the prison and detention center system, and hear about the importance of indigenous food and health, plus so much more. We will witness performances and conversations as we join together in healing our country, communities, and ourselves. If you all wouldn't mind, since you are here all the way live from Detroit, if you don't mind giving us a land acknowledgement, we would love that.
Definitely. So we're here in Michigan, and Michigan has very rich ancestral history. And the ancestral caretakers of the land here were the Anishinaabe, including the Ottawa, Ojibwe, and Buruadomi, and the Wyandot people, past and present. The land itself is called Wawiyatana, and that translates to where the water curves around the land.
The movement and artist group Aint Afraid is dedicated to empowering, inspiring, uniting, and motivating people all over the world in goodness. From spoken word to songwriting, singing, rapping, and fashion, and other creative means, this multi-talented duo uses their talents in the arts, media, and other creative platforms to project this mission in ways that people will listen.
Welcome. So excited to talk to you all.
Thank you.
I've seen, the first time I saw you guys perform was maybe 3 or 4 years ago, and I was absolutely blown away. Like, you can't not get into your performance. It's so captivating. It just like grabs you and pulls you in. So the first question I wanted to ask is, why did you all choose music as your tool for expression, and when did you all start creating music?
So thank you for asking us that question. And we get this question a lot. And we used to answer it one way, but I think we've now realized that we didn't choose music. Music chose us. We've always been singing, rapping, or creating poetry ever since we could speak. You know how people say Spanish was my first language or Arabic was my first language and all these other things? Well, singing was our first language. That's how we first learned to communicate and how we first learned to cope or deal with things. And so we've always used it as a tool to express. Yeah, I would say, based off of your comment, we at a young age, being a Black Muslim girl, like, we can be very undermined by people. Just, you would think that different appearance makes us stand out, but actually it gives people more ammo to try and not listen to us. And so we learned from a very young age to have to put on a show to be heard, or have to, really do it big just for people to listen to us. And so from a very young age, whether we didn't have to be singing, we knew we needed to perform. I need to stand tall, be the loudest in the room, say what I have to say much stronger than everyone else for people to feel like what I'm saying is correct. Even if it was just things like, yes, I am Muslim and I am Black. People used to tell us, you can't be Muslim because you're Black. Like, you would think that common sense would hit, people. It was adults telling us these things. But no, we had to be really, really bold. And one thing that we found was music was something that, in a conversation, people can talk back. But when you're on stage and you're performing your piece and you're
no one can say nothing.
All you got to do is clap at the end, baby.
Yes,
That's it. And then from there, it took off. At first, it really was just a huge passion of ours. And I mean, we took that passion seriously.
Yeah.
Like, it was like a job.
Like, how you have to bring people to come rehearse and this and that. We were telling ourselves to rehearse on our own. Yeah. We had music class. And so to your question about when did we start creating, I think we were always creating, but when we started intentionally creating
is when we were given the spaces to perform.
Exactly. So every Friday in music class at ages like 8, 9, and 10, we were able to perform every Friday. So all week we would prepare a piece, a song that we heard on TV, or a song that our mom introduced us to from Michael Jackson or Whitney Houston or Lauryn Hill, or what have you. And we would practice dances with our brothers to perform this. And it was just so beautiful. We were creating little shows back then. And I would say for us, creativity and singing has always came natural.
Our mother nurtured that a part of us. Like, I feel like a lot of young girls have passions for things, and then adults tell them that they need to find their place, and then it stops the imagination. And that's one thing in our household that was just never tolerated. Imagination first.
Yes.
We wanted to ask a little bit more about your process, specifically as it pertains to your album, and I want to know more as twins how your process is shaped by that as well. We actually talked to another group of siblings who are also artists. So it's cool. Infinity Song, yeah. So it's cool to see another family duo in the building and learn more about like how that impacts your music making process.
When it comes to family, I think you're automatically given for some people this space of comfort and an opportunity to want to be open and honest when it comes to family, as it pertains to creativity and creating. And so I think that's what we have with each other, is an open and honest space to come together and create.
I think it's rooted in the culture of our household. Like, our brother Sajad, as a kid, our mom used to sing to him, Sajadi Wadi, sitting on the potty. And then every time, while we were all potty training him, it was Sajadi Wadi, sitting on the potty. He don't cause trouble when he don't bother nobody.
Yeah.
And then, Ramadan is such a rich thing in our household, and Eid is our holiday, and it was Eid Mubarak. Eat, Saeed, eat, and then there were all these kind of songs in our household. Like, music was natural. It was like, what, you ain't got no song to learn about that?
Exactly,
like,
right.
You ain't got no song to celebrate.
Exactly.
We thought every household had their little family songs. And,
exactly.
We realized it was just our own little thing. But I think having those things as children allowed us to, understand the beauty of song and music and how it can bring people together. So with us, it was nothing to make a song. We made a song about anything.
Most of our songs, if we're talking about our album, most of those songs were created on the spot. Or combined together. Like Smile Today, for instance. That's our song that specifically talks about mental health and talks about the struggles of it, but how you always deserve to smile, even through your struggle, even through your hard times. Know that you are a person who deserves to smile.
But it's a song.
It's a song. Two different pieces. So one day we made Smile Today, and another day we made Sunny. And then we were like, those kind of sound good together. So we smashed it together. So our writing process as twins,
I don't know. I feel like it's
Like,
always
like, what
different.
are you bringing to the table?
It's right. It's always different, but I think we can always rely on each other to complete something.
Yeah.
And I think it's also interesting because we've lived a life together.
Yeah.
So I can feel when she coming from a place of pain in her writing. I can feel that. I dang near lived that. So it's so beautiful to connect with someone on a level and just know exactly what they're talking about.
Yeah.
Creating.
I feel like I can feel that energy right now as y'all speak. Like, it's like y'all, I feel like y'all are ad-libbing each other right now. It's crazy.
Yeah.
It's dope.
Yeah.
I would like to know, how does your Islamic faith inform your commitment to healing through the arts?
I feel like Islam teaches us to heal. It doesn't teach us to stay in our one space, and healing looks different for so many people. And that's what we wanted to achieve with our album, is we all have different things to heal from, and we all have different ways of achieving that healing. And that's what we've been taught all our life, not only from our faith, but from our mother. Islam means peace. So essentially, what brings you peace? What takes you there? You know what I'm saying? When and how can you achieve peace? And wherever and however that may look like, as long as you're not hurting nobody else, go ahead and take that, find that.
We're taught about prayer, the importance of prayer in our religion. And prayer is how we're taught in our community, in our household, in our masjid. Is like, it's not just about asking for, gifts and luxuries. And it's definitely about praising God, but it's not always about that. It's also about checking in and allowing yourself to check in on yourself. Yeah. Like, for example, like, God, I've been feeling like this lately. I need to find myself back at a better space again. Yeah. I know, forgive me if I've da-da-da. I need to da-da-da. Yeah. I'm looking forward to da-da-da. I appreciate you for giving me the time to da-da-da.
You know what? For me, sometimes also when it comes to praying, I'm like literally just talking like as if I'm talking to somebody. Yeah. You know what I'm saying? Like, it's not about give me this, give me that, which is totally fine. I'm just saying, like, sometimes I'm just like, I just need somebody to talk to, right? I just need somebody to talk to, or even talking out loud to myself. Then I realize, I'm not talking to myself. I'm talking to, you know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So, you know what I'm saying?
Yeah,
So
that was so deep.
Okay, you making me feel good about myself right now. Like, she said, yeah. I'm like, I'm really enlightening her right now. Okay, but yeah, it's so beautiful, right? To find ourselves in that space. Like, some people who don't share our same faith come up to us and they're like,
that's what I was about to touch on.
Yeah, they're like, I want to do what you do. I'm like, do what I do. Girl, pick up your hands and talk. Like, literally, you do not need, like, it does not need to be weird. You know what I'm saying? Like,
I think that, so that's what I was going to say, because we found ourselves in a very non-Muslim space, which we love. We've been around that our entire lives, but more recently in the music industry, Muslims, we grow up with a different understanding of life. Like, we're taught from a very young age that find contentment in every stage of life. It doesn't mean work for better. It just means to literally be at peace.
You mean it doesn't mean don't work for better?
Yeah, it doesn't mean don't work for better.
Yeah, because you said, I got you.
It doesn't mean don't work for better. It doesn't mean don't try to achieve the highest of goals. It just means to always stay content and humble. We're taught about the beauty of death at 6. Yeah. I knew death was something beautiful at 6. We're taught you can't get to heaven if you don't die.
Yeah.
So we know something about peace at a very young age, and it's something that I feel like a lot of souls are missing. I'm not saying because they're not Muslim. I'm saying because they're not tapped into the idea of finding peace.
Yeah, just find peace.
Everybody's chasing somebody else's peace. Everybody's chasing somebody else's happiness.
Yeah.
We're not taught about finding our own peace. And in our household, that was something taught to us at such a young age. It definitely shows within our movement. Yeah. And that's what it's teaching.
Not to be long-winded. Not to be long-winded, but if I can just add on.
Not to be long-winded,
but some people look at us now because they didn't know us when we were younger, and they think we lived a luxurious life, or y'all artists, y'all must got it easy. Nah, like we were born into homelessness, and from there you can just imagine how life went. But we always found happiness. And why is that? It's because you shouldn't. We were always taught, you can't compare happiness to the situations that you're in. The most richest people are sad. Dang. Sad. Our mom always taught us, do not measure your happiness with what is around you. What is inside of you? And that's what we wanted to put in our album. We wanted to teach people, you find your happiness not with what's around you, what's inside you. You think you think you're sad. Are you really sad, or are you not really seeing?
Are you not satisfied?
Are you not satisfied? And get satisfied. And by satisfied, we don't mean don't try for better. We always say go for better, but it's going for better and enjoying the struggle that comes with it. Enjoying the journey. Be content with the journey. Mm-hmm. And I'm gonna stop right here because I am being long-winded.
You're not though. Like, listen, you guys are dropping straight gems. Like, without even us asking you questions. Like,
how old are you all?
We're 21. You said only 21.
You see all those jewels? Good job, mama.
Yes.
Good job, mama. I was like, come on, y'all speaking with wisdom.
We were going to ask you more about mental health and the ways in which we see that you put that through your music, and wanted to ask if there's other avenues you go about addressing mental health. And you guys can speak on it more, but I think your answer prior to this really spoke to that, like finding your inner peace and chasing that automatically aids to a better mental health. So if y'all wanted to talk about that, and really, I know you mentioned the song, maybe go into more detail about how you address mental health in your art and outside of your art.
You know, we already talked about how we've been singing all of our life, and in struggle, even when it got hard, you know, singing was something that could bring us happiness. But there was a point in time, we were much younger, but we couldn't see past the struggle. And it was only because our minds were not expansive. We didn't know much more outside of our struggle until we got into community work and we connected with other people, and we learned about different ways to mobilize and advocate, you know, and charge forth for the culture, for the people, for our land, for our homes, for our school systems, our education, for our health,
our peers,
our young people. And when I got connected to community work, my mind expanded beyond anything. We got invited out to these places. We used to perform poetry pieces, singing pieces to our, you know, school, our leaders, our representatives, our change makers, the Congresswoman Debbie Dingell.
Yeah.
And, you know, we left marks on these people because of our art. And in those moments, I realized, you know, that the world was bigger than my struggle. The world was bigger than my limitations, and that I could fight to find more. And that's where my mental health got better. I didn't feel so stuck. I didn't feel like there was nothing. I really used to think that living to 25 was a long time.
I used to be like, dang, you here for 25 years?
Yeah, I used to seriously think that how could people satisfyingly be on this earth at 80? Like that I'm not ready to go. I wasn't, you know, thank God, you know, I was actually never suicidal, but my struggle was so hard on me, and I couldn't live past it, that I felt like, who could do this?
You couldn't see anything more for yourself.
Yeah. I was like,
you thought you would be
like,
there.
who could be happy with this for so long? But then it was that thing, me finding myself, me learning how to find joy within the struggle.
Kids.
And then again, when I got into that community work, it wasn't that I started living luxurious, not at all. I just got to know more. I got to know more about what I could do. Yeah. And I feel like that's what it is. That's what it is for a lot of people. Not understanding that we have a lot of control, just not knowing where to go to find it, or find it within ourselves.
Now, to extend past that as it pertains to our art, in those spaces, we learned a lot about mental health. We learned to identify our own struggles and put names to them. And we also learned about what other people are going through. And we learned that when it comes to mental health, sometimes the access is just not right. Sometimes people aren't able to access it, whether it be for financial reasons or location reasons, demographically comfortability. And because of that, we realized not only are we carrying and talking about our story, but we're carrying the voices of other people. So with that, we need to make sure that not only are we speaking for them, but we're speaking with them. And by with them, I mean, we're healing together. A lot of times, not a lot of times, but I see some people may be taking what am I trying to say? So focused on just going and going and going that they don't stop and check in with who they're going for. And I think with our album, we wanted to make sure we checked in with who we're going for, who we're doing this for. We're in a pandemic. This is new for a lot of people. A lot of our peers don't know how to do school online. It's harder to do school online. They don't have the so people are dealing with a lot right now. Families are dealing with a lot right now. Financially, and then a lot of the racial tensions and people being more focused on that conversation kept coming up. So we realized with this album, we really need to check in with our people and how are they coping, how are they keeping up, but we're not going to be able to reach everybody, so we need to be able to hug. We keep calling this album our hug to the world. We wanted to reach everyone and just say, hey, like okay, but don't hug me. We want to check in and say, hey, I'm extending love to you. Just know that whatever you're going through, you got this. You deserve to smile. You deserve to be happy. Take these lessons that I'm giving you to keep pushing, keep going forward. If you didn't know now, you know now that you're worth it. You got this. And hey, we're your best friends. That's what we like to say to our people. That's what we like to say.
I love it. I love it. It's so admirable just seeing how you all move, the momentum that you all move with, and the consistency even through a pandemic. It's been tough on a lot of artists. Like there's a lot of artists that didn't feel creative during the pandemic, but you all went into overdrive during the pandemic and, really got it done. And I just wanted to ask, how did you all deal with, what things or mantras, I don't know, tools, ideas, what things kept you encouraged and inspired and feeling creative to keep pushing in the face of adversity of a global pandemic, where everybody felt like we don't know when we're going back on the road, we don't know when things are opening up, and a lot of artists really struggled and suffered because our industry was an industry that was deeply impacted. It still is. Venues, some venues aren't opening up till next year, so how did that affect you, and how did you all push through that creatively?
The pandemic, for us, in a big way, was a blessing. In terms of not what is causing it, but for us to stop. We are people who give so much of ourselves to other people. Like, Mumu, you said you saw us grinding and pushing out content. You want to know why? Because we finally had time for ourselves. Before the pandemic, we had a meeting every day. And sometimes it was multiple meetings every day. And outside of the meetings, it was work. And then outside of work, it was projects. Outside of projects, it was family. Outside of family, it was then Aint Afraid. And by meetings, I mean, like we said, we were advocates. We're advocates in our community. We were a part of so many boards, organizations, groups, peers, peer leader here, mentor here, this, that, here, that we were giving so much of ourselves to other people that we didn't even realize how much we were taking away from what we truly wanted to do, which was music.
It wasn't that we weren't doing good things. We know that what the place that we held in our community was something that was very powerful. It was just for so long we had given it to other people to go on and take what we give and do better with it, that we weren't giving ourselves that stuff to do better with. Now, what I'll say is, the pandemic was a struggle. No cap. However, struggle is something we're not used to. Adjusting and needing to adapt is not new for us. So it was like, we just got back into a very honest part of ourselves, which is learning to, we actually talk about this all the time. We've been to at least, I think, like 11 different schools. We moved to many different cities. And that's why earlier we were talking about, where we are. It's like, we call home family. Because our family, there's not a spot that we've been in enough to really be like, I'm rooted here. So my home is in my family. But this pandemic, like you said, it opened doors for us to try new things. We picked up a sewing machine this pandemic.
We pulled up a YouTube video and been sewing ever since.
We've been sewing Like, we making whole fits. Like,
we made this.
Yeah, we made the scarf we wear right now. Like, I mean, but we were making, especially when we first picked it up. Like, we were making whole outfits. Like, we was about to be showcased on some New York Fashion Week or something.
And we in the middle of a pandemic.
And it's because we're very creative people.
Yeah.
And when we pick up any small thing, we do try our best to, like, just do the best that we can. And some people call it extra. I just call it, you know, being me. Doing what I do.
And now we do miss the stage.
Dude, that's the only thing.
Yeah.
The pandemic did take something from me. Many things, and it was one of them was the stage. And that's like my way of really connecting to people. But then also, it's a little self-serving. I love to perform. I absolutely love to perform. I can't wait till we get back into that mode of things.
Yeah, but it also taught me to be a little bit more grateful for being, because you know, some artists just weren't even getting booked before the pandemic. Yeah. It taught me to like check myself, like you ought to be grateful that people saw you and wanted to give you a chance. You know what I'm saying? And I hope, but I did see a lot more virtual events going on, and I saw some artists who might not have been getting picked up before starting to get seen, and a lot of people were tapped in more. So I'm very happy about that. I started seeing more artists get put on, and it really made me my soul so happy.
Yeah, in a huge way, the pandemic did like really mess with our industry. You know, the arts and the music. I'm sure that you both know. However, I think that it also allowed for a lot of space for a lot of us that perhaps, you know, are under the radar, not seen as much, not able to get as much opportunity, the space to really connect with others that do that. And Clubhouse came out, and Momo, thank you for putting us onto that. You know, people were all on there connecting, and opportunities were happening off of that. So we artists had to learn to adjust, and I feel like being an artist in any kind of climate of the world is hard. Like, it's not, you know, you don't get to eat off your salary for real like that until you really get to a certain point. And I think that as artists, we all did what we needed to do. We adjusted to the field,
to the time.
Yeah,
and I think like carrying that on, you've already given so many gems, but for the artists who are just starting, who want to do what you guys are doing, who want to get booked, what advice do you have for them?
We always say just start. We used to stop ourselves. We came out when we were 19 with Aint Afraid.
Yeah.
But like we said, we've been doing this all our life.
We tried to start.
What stopped us was our resources. But really, our resources didn't stop us. Our mindset stopped us. Our thinking stopped us. And so we always tell artists, it doesn't matter if you have a phone with the worst camera quality. Pull it out. Because you know what? And we just need to hear you. Or we just need to see what you do. Or ask somebody, you know somebody with a good camera, ask them to take your pic real quick. Take the picture of your work. You know what I'm saying? Take a video of whatever you're doing. Right. Airdrop it to you or email it to you. Post it. You know what I'm saying? Like, if you want something so bad, you're going to find a way. So we always tell people, if you want it, just start. And then things will start falling into place. Just start.
And do it for yourself, because that's what will keep you going.
Yeah, exactly.
When you do it for other people, like when the other people aren't rocking with it, then you're going to feel like it's not enough or that you're not worthy of it. No, do it for yourself. Whatever you do it for yourself. It's too many people out here doing stuff just to try, just to get something that they think they're going to get out of it, and it's not honest to them. Like, people are open about it now. People used to hide that fact.
Yeah, now they're like,
people are.
I don't even like doing music. I just want to make money.
Like, what?
Like, come on now, where's the love in it?
There's real culture in this stuff. People, you know, people use music for serious things that really built communities and stuff. Yeah, I mean, I think it's bigger than music. Music wasn't my only example.
Exactly, I know.
I think that you need to be honest to yourself, because this fake era, like this fake generation we coming up with,
we'll see it. We'll see it.
That's why y'all here though.
We'll see it through the work.
Breaking through that for real. Y'all are so necessary.
Yeah, absolutely.
Thank you. Much love. Thank you.
Well, we are going to watch you all perform and give our audience the chance to see you all live in action and feel the impact and the spirit and the love and everything that you all bring to the stage and to every space that you all occupy. So Check it out.
Chosen roses in motion, and we just coasting, not boasting. And this ain't magic, no potion, still you feel tight. Chosen roses in motion, and we just coasting, not boasting. And this ain't magic, no potion, still you feel love. Positions, I could either play my part, I could either play a start, or I could rearrange my hearts. Might just rearrange the clovers just to have a lucky start. But I don't believe in superstition, cause a religion ain't my fault. My disposition's on default, all about change, so I revolt for the better. And I take my risk and I gather all of myself, and I internalize every quality that I've utilized, and every single word that I've identified to be associated with me. Analyzing my being, change or giving it meaning, cause I'm a rose. I dare say I've been chosen, I've been brought up by being broken, and I'm a rose. Chosen roses in motion, and we just coasting, not boasting. And this ain't magic, no potion, still you feel tight. Chosen roses in motion, and we just coasting, not boasting. And this ain't magic, no potion, still you feel love. Gotta climb over dirt that they dumped on us. Our heads not a lens that we will focus. Boy can't be a man if he don't grow up, and I can't understand why we show no love. Significant difference does make us, and if you can't get with it, then can you just remove yourself, exclude yourself? Can't fight for each other if we lose ourselves. We can help with the trials that we all been dealt. Keep an eye for the ones coming later down. See, the future ain't locked, what we have is now, and we all influence all the cats around. And the ones that's watching, you're the Rupa Mujahids, you can fight. What you sit in your pockets, money don't make man, it just make a deposit like the Wu-Tang Clan. With each other we rock it. I dare say I've been chosen, I've been brought up by being broken. I'm a rose. Chosen roses in motion, and we just coasting, not boasting. And this ain't magic, no potion, still you feel tight. Chosen roses in motion, and we just coasting, not boasting. And this ain't magic, no potion, still you feel love. I dare say I've been chosen, I've been brought up by being broken. I've been stepped on because I stepped up, and I've grown by being tested. I'm a rose, my thorns as tough as it gets, and I bleed as red as it is, and my roots as strong as my head, cause I'm a rose. I dare say I've been chosen, I've been brought up by being broken. I'm a rose. Chosen roses in motion, and we just coasting, not boasting. And this ain't magic, no potion, still you feel tight. Chosen roses in motion, and we just coasting, not boasting. And this ain't magic, no potion, still you feel light. I dare say I've been chosen, I've been brought up by being broken. I'm a rose.
Thank you so much, Aint Afraid.
Out, y'all.
You all have been wonderful and so just, articulate and expressive and just authentically 100% you. You showed up being yourself, And I tell you all that I'm so proud of you all. I'm so happy that you all exist. I'm happy we exist in the same space and time. It's so many things I see in you all, like you all are the next generation. Like I remember, growing up in the masjid, like I would have been afraid to look, y'all name Aint Afraid. I was afraid to publicly perform, you know what I'm saying, in Muslim spaces, and it took a long time, and I think a lot of people's minds are changing and they opening up to seeing that music can be halal, it can be beautiful and life-giving, and it can heal, it can change worlds. And so I'm so happy to see the change. I'm so happy that you all are part of the change, and that there's a space that exists for you all to walk into your path as artists, not being prohibited, unobstructed. And I'm sure some spaces where y'all got to push back and fight back too. And even that is so necessary. Those spaces that you cut down the path for somebody else, even, behind you all, to be able to come through. And they won't even know that there was a time when people told us that we couldn't sing and we couldn't rap and we couldn't do music and we couldn't dance, So thank you all for doing what you do. Thank you all, Kennedy Center. Thank you so much. Thank you, Sajari.
Thank you, Mumu.
Thank you for watching, everyone.
This culminates our 5-video series. And thank you, Aint Afraid, for closing us out. Thank you, Mumu. Thank you, all the crew that's put this together and made this happen. It's been dope conversations back to back. So I'm just grateful for this opportunity.
Thank you, everyone. Make some noise for Aint Afraid.
Yeah. Blah, blah, blah.
Thank you
also like